Hand threading one by one. I do have a little extra coolant leak because I accidentally forgot to put one of my lines on before I started filling the reservoir. But I'm going to finish up doing the rest of these bolts real quick and then work my way around. And then we got to get to the starter, which is that thing up over there. That's going to be the hardest thing to get to because you have to feed the starter from like underneath this panel up over and then like put it in place and then like bolt it up into place. It's a lot of work from what I hear and pretty much is a two-person job. It is just me, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do a two-person job by just me. So it's something kind of sad seeing like all this spider webs and everything hang out on my Gab, which is like an OG super cool brand from like the early 2000s, super period correct for this build. But it's something kind of sad seeing all these like spider webs just hang out on my shocks. The first and last video, we put in new gas. We pumped it out using a ground in the diagnostic box, put the hose into a bucket, and then poured out all of the old fuel. So this is with new fuel in it. Before it wasn't even turning over. Now it's actually wanting to start. I turn it over and it runs for half a second and then it kills itself. I'm gonna turn it on. All I did was tweak the cam position sensor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this back down a little bit and then see if it's in a better place once I move it back down. Okay, it's running really rough. But it means it has compression because it's holding, it's like trying to run idle. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to kick this throttle cable even further down and open it up just a little bit more. It's running rough, but it's running. A little bit of throttle saving this thing. It's fucking running! It's fucking running! Boys! It's running! It's fucking running! Okay, that's proof of concept right there. It can run. E-brake engaged. Foot off of brake and clutch. You can see my feet. It literally will just idle like this. Thank you guys for all the comments and everything because literally it's not even, it's running where it's supposed to be. No throttle on it at all. This is it just idling. It's like perfect. It's idling 100%. I adjusted the cam just a little bit and I've been doing fine tuning just so it healthily idles. And listen to how good it sounds. I know the exhaust manifold isn't 100% attached, but it feels so good and it already is running better. Turn it off and then turn it back on and see how easy it starts. We turned it off and we turned it back on and guess what? Once again, at a perfect RPM, hovering, not bogging out, just staying idle, not over revving to like 1,000, just sitting at a perfect healthy RPM. Absolutely in love where we're at right now. This has been the perfect amount of progress for the build. I was a little worried. We brought this inside and we're going to be doing bed liner underneath the car and we're working on a couple different things. But I was a little worried because when we started the car, it was revving to the moon uncontrollably and I didn't know why it was. It's literally just because of this throttle position cable. This little bracket pulls on the throttle at a different spot at different times because it's not 100% secure. I have 3 different ones for this. The one that came on my new motor, the older one, and then one that I got sent from Flying Miata. So we're going to test fit a couple different ones, see which one works best. If not, I'll have to order a new one. But at least I know that it's not my car trying to blow itself up. It's just this random one. Alright, I got the one bolt out. If I made you my love, would you take? So this is how a lot of people circumvent this, is they will put it through this bottom row, but then they'll attach this onto this row's little thing. Okay. So they would bend this little thing out and then what they do is they slip the wire in and around and they tuck it into here, so that way it pulls down.
Way too much, but not enough to break. Same shade as the gray in my lungs. I pray I'm not a patient. Same way I say that.
I have to say, the quality of this with the logo right there of serial number and a warranty on it, it does look really cool and really good. I'm gonna quickly take off this extra fan that we don't need and install this.
I don't know. I crave a conversation. Told my mom.
Gotta keep it down here, out of the way. Love that. Damn, it looks so much better. The aluminum shroud and then the fan, oh, it looks so good. From my understanding, it is 2 bolts to undo this, so it should not take long. I'm gonna take this out. Then I need to figure out where this cord goes, or how long is this cord, because I still got to be able to unclip it and then plug it into the
No, it's on the way.
I'll be totally honest, I think this might be it. I really like it. With a little bit of paint, it would cover up the scratching that is like slightly there, but for the most part, it's pretty good. The air intake portion of it, especially with it actually cooling to where I have the headers and my intake for now, it actually would add cooling properties to it, which I do like.
On the play, and I play my songs away. Roll spliffs so my pain get guarded.
I'll be honest, they look so good. I'm actually really happy with this. I originally got a pretty cheap Volante wheel. It's held up really well. I actually really enjoy this wheel. But if we're going with the car with having the original JDM accents, it being bride seats and all, and the Mochi little guy up here and all the other little details with the hand-fold 100 craft shift knob that's custom made for us. This is a 1996 Vertex steering wheel. It has the embossed logo on the bottom. The front, it looks super incredible, brand new. So it's gonna match the engine bay of this car. It's gonna match the little shift, the boot right here, the little bottom of the boot collar for our shift knob, and then also it's gonna match our wheels on top of that. So I think it's gonna tie into the car really well. And you also notice it is slightly smaller. This steering wheel was really large and pointing directly towards me, so I wanted to size it down just a little bit. It's gonna be a lot more nimble inside of the corners. Okay, so this one had like a little collar over the front of it. I wasn't absolutely in love with that, but it helped keep in this front cover plate, I believe is what the purpose of it was. I'm gonna see how I can disconnect this. I might have to, oh, I think I need to, shit. I might disconnect these little nuts on this thing. They're so tiny in there. Let me see what I can do about that. I might need an adjustable Allen wrench and like try to, I can take this off. Oh. Yeah, you can pull those off. Oh, these just fall off. Okay, cool. Dope. Okay, we got out the center cap. It said the old steering wheel brand in there. Now we have the actual wheel. Gonna take that off. Looks super good still, but I'm so excited for this new one. So for now, what I'll do is I'll screw this down in all the holes, and then I'll leave this out, and we'll put in this one later once we customize it. But look how much tinier the steering wheel is.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
Oh, and the red is like spot on with the actual red of the
Right, my wrongs to erase them. Hey, I thrown away the only place I know it's safe. Hey.
You always have felt like this is very cramped inside the cabin.
I've only ever driven this car once when the car's been literally dead and does not drive.
How do you feel about the steering wheel? Isn't it
a lot better?
It's very small, but it has to be for this Miata. How does it feel?
It feels better.
Yeah, it looks so good. With a buff to this paint, I'm telling you.